And good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report. Today's date is April 13th, 2023. Today, we are going to talk about OCD. Obsessive compulsive disorder. Obsessive compulsive disorder is characterized by obsession and compulsion. OCD is a profound effect on personal lives. Psychologically, therapy techniques and medication can help the people recover from OCD. Obsessive compulsive disorder is an anxiety disorder that affects 2 to 3% of the population, more than 500,000 Australians. It usually begins late children or early adolescence. People with OCD experience current and persistent thoughts of images, impulsivities that are instructive and unwanted obsessions. They also perform repetitive and
ritualistic
actions that are excessive, time-consuming, distressing. People with OCD compulsion, however they feel unable to, symptoms are usually versions of concern, have some in common with obsession. Fear of combination of form of germs and positions and other physical environmental substance. Fear of harming from illness, accidents, death that may occur on self or to others. They may include excessive sense of responsibility for preventing harm, intrusive thoughts, images, and sex violence, and other accidents and issues. Excessive concern with symmetry, existence, and
orderliness.
Excessive concerns about an illness, religious issues, morality, needing to know the thing. Obsession of constantly on a person's mind. They may be also triggered physical situations, smells, or something heard on television or radio. In conversation, obsessive fears usually the specific triggers, for example, a bottle of Colton, to include anything that might look like it has been near, or such a car as keys are puddled on the road, submarkets, or shelves. Obsession can change the nature of the society. Of obsessional anxiety leads to vigilance, possible threats, and control. Obsessions produce feelings of raging from annoyance. Symptoms of OCD compulsion behaviors can mentally through repetitive compulsions usually helping reduce anxiety. Common issues: excessive hand washing, excessive cleaning and washing household and food items, car, and other areas, excessive checking of locks and other associations, repeating routine activities and actions such as reading, writing, walking, picking up something, opening the door, applying rigid rules, patterns, the placement, touching, tapping, moving, particular way, certain number of times, needing, constantly asking questions, mentally repeating words or certain times, or concentrating on good or safe numbers, replacing a bad thought with a good thought, usually compulsive, like rituals, specific rules, patterns, involve consistent repetition, compulsion, giving an illusionary sense of short-term relief. OCD has compulsive and may take hours of personal stay, interfere in relationships. They can also negatively on your education or employment. And OCD avoidance may become a problem. The person might trigger obsessive fears. It can make it difficult to perform everyday tasks. OCD compound depression, anxiety disorder. People cause treatment often them before becoming deeply involved. Compulsions are learned behaviors, habits that are associated with anxiety. OCD gets factors, chemical, structural, distorted beliefs, treatment for OCD, psychological treatment, cognitive behavioral therapy, medication, anxiety management groups, support education, cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral theory is changing the thinking of beliefs and behaviors that may trigger anxiety symptoms through therapy. Education includes information or exposure about the OCD. Cognitive behavioral therapy should be undertaken with a skill specific specialties in mental health professional. Overuse of alcohol, drugs, some medication may interfere with your success of the treatment. Anxiety management techniques of OCD, anxiety, medication, slow breathing, and regular practice most effective. OCD support groups allow OCD families to meet in a comfortable, safe, and support. The goal is to provide an opportunity to learn more about this disorder. Medications of OCD, some found especially effective sedation systems have been found to replace OCD medications. The only prescribed medication side effect antidepressant that includes nausea, headache, blurred vision. These effective often don't decline after first week of treatment. If you have side effects of severe long time, you should discuss it with your doctor. It usually takes several weeks for the medication to deliver effective with reducing researching. Hospitalization for OCD treatment. Hospital can be helpful. Some people, particularly severe symptoms, they stay in hospital may require several weeks or several days, up to a few weeks. Reinforce like your attention, doing something, excessive behavior, positive. Write down your obsessive thoughts and worries. Anticipate urges and action first time. When urges arise later, will be easier for relabel urges. Set aside a time for a daily suppress obsession compulsion with thoughts. Urges appears during the day. Write them down, post them. Worry periods, save them for later. Take care of yourself. Although the stress does not cause OCD, it can be triggered onset. Compulsive disorder behavior make it worse. Try to practice relaxation such as mindfulness, meditation, or deep breathing techniques for at least 30 minutes a day. The links will be attached below. Here is that YouTube that we watched. Here's the links below. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report and Sam's Mental Health Day.
8. That's how many times I have to blink after waking up to a day full of very, very strange rituals. Now, careful not to get out of my bed with the wrong foot. And I am off to some algebra. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Most people think that OCD means obsessively washing your hands and trying to align everything. Trust me, things are about to get a lot more fucked up as we carry on. Now it's time to attempt leaving the house. I start by lifting my hand off the doorknob using a very specific slow movement. I enter the elevator and I stop it, obviously. You didn't think I'd leave without checking the door, did you? Don't be silly. I'll be back. At least twice. Yeah, there it is. I go down, I enter the car, doing pretty well so far, no intrusive thoughts for the past 30 seconds, think I'm going very combo here. And then Mr. Satan comes along and whispers into my ear, "Did you check the window step slides, Power?" And I reply, "Yes, Mr. Satan, I did. But I have to go back, and I have to check, otherwise I get the feeling something terrible might happen." I love to eat, but I am pretty sure that if loaves of bread with unevenly spread butter were the only food available on earth, I would starve to death. I also avoid certain meals just because they have a weird texture that reminds me of worms, and I have to touch specific objects many times until it feels just right. But now that I think of it, that sounded weirdly sexual, so please don't take this out of context. Anyway, here comes the messed up part. I get these terrible urges to ride off the road, hit a tree, jump off the bridge, run over my ex-boyfriend, and then I am sitting there wondering, am I really capable of doing all these things? I don't want to die necessarily, I don't want to kill anyone, though my ex is asking for it. And you might be sitting there thinking, sweet Jesus, how do I file a restraining order against this crazy bitch? And I can't really blame you, but let me explain how intrusive thoughts work. Most of us get them, but normal people leave them behind and they cheerfully get back to watching funny cat videos online. Now, if you have OCD, you will start picking each thought apart, and the next thing you know, you are stuck with a bunch of new rituals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that make you look like you are high on acid. And there is a part of me that knows all of this is utterly stupid and pointless, but giving in and, performing some witchcraft is always so much easier than having to face the terrible thoughts my mind projects. I'm 27 and I am scared to death if I leave my bathroom door open. I'd really like to be in charge, but at the end of the day I know I just can't stop